Welcome to Mindful Leadership, Transforming Lives, with your host, Singh. This is where leadership meets purpose, presence, and passion. In today's fast paced, high pressure world, we face a leadership crisis. Too often, teams are led by managers who lack empathy, clarity, and vision, leaving individuals uninspired, disconnected, and undervalued. But it doesn't have to be this way. Great leadership isn't born, it's built. The end game: empower your leadership, inspire the world. Every week, join me, your host Singh, as we tackle the gaps in leadership and life coaching head on, learning how mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and compassion can redefine success. This isn't just another podcast, it's a mission to fill the void left by ineffective leadership. And it's not just about leadership in business. Life coaching for leaders and new executives is at heart of this journey. Ready to rise above the noise and lead with clarity, purpose, and impact? Join a global movement dedicated to reshaping the future of leadership one mindful moment at a time. Let's begin.
Welcome back to another episode of Mindful Leadership Podcast on the Transformation Network. The podcast where we turn stress into strategy, overthinking into clarity, and overwhelm into momentum. I'm your host, Singh, the leadership coach who knows that growth does not happen throughout burnout, it happens through alignment. Have you ever noticed how leadership feels exactly like your Wi Fi connection? The moment things really matter, boop, unstable. Like you're giving your biggest presentation, the team is depending on you, and suddenly your signal ghosts harder than your gym accountability partner in February. That was me last week. Virtual workshop, 300 faces on screen, everyone pretending to focus while they're absolutely scrolling Slack memes. I am mid pep talk, Miss Roger meets Gary V and freeze. My face locked between motivational keynote and mid sneeze. Basically, the world least inspiring statue, I would say, right? And that's where it hit me. This is leadership in 2025. We cannot control the chaos, but we can control the bandwidth. Because let's be honest, leadership is not the calm, cinematic walk through a glance office you see on LinkedIn post. It's more like juggling chainsaws while your toddler yells, I made soup on your laptop keyboard. And somehow you are still supposed to model composure. We live in a world where Wi Fi cuts out, your calendar looks like a game of Tetris designed by Saturn. And everyone expects you to beam calm like Oprah with a crisis hotline. So, how do you hold it together when everything around you is shaking like a 9 a.m. iced coffee addict? Think about it. Here's the truth: leadership is not about holding it all together, it is about learning to hold the line. When things get wobbly, when the uncertainty hits, real leaders don't fake stability, they find center. They breathe. They remember who they are before they send that next Slack message that smells like panic in front form. So, right now, do me a favor, check your connection, not your Wi Fi, your internal one. Because today, we are talking about how to stay grounded when world goes full chaos mode. How to lead with calm clarity when your notification sound like fireworks. Just take a breath, find your signal. It's time to hold the line. Let's start here. Even the best leaders wobble. Now, it's not failure, it's just physics. You cannot hold 100 plates in motion. Deadlines, ego, management, Slack ping, global market dips. And hey, did you see that email without occasionally dropping one on your own foot? The myth is that great leaders do not lose their footing. But the truth, great leaders just know how to recover faster than the fall. And let's be honest, leadership in 2025 feels less like running a company, running a team, running a project. It's more like managing a group chat during Mercury retrograde. Half of your job is just keeping people from melting down, including yourself. So, why do we not think about being grounded? Why do otherwise grounded, brilliant humans lose their balance under pressure? And we are going to break it down. First up, the all knowing hero symptom. You know, that moment after a promotion when you think, cool, now I'm supposed to have answers. Yeah, that's when your inner imposter starts bench pressing anxiety. Somewhere between your first direct report and your 47 Slack notification, that starts with quick question. You accidentally subscribe to leadership myth of omniscience. The idea that true leaders always know what to do. Hey, spoiler, you don't. You are a leader, not an AI chatbot. You are here to guide, not guess correctly. And the cost of pretending you know everything is burnout, decision fatigue, and that sweet 3 a.m. moment when your brain whispers, maybe I should have moved to Bali and start a candle business. Here is your reminder. Certainty is not leadership, but clarity is. The leader who admits, I don't know yet, but I will find out, builds more trust than the one performing certainty like a TikTok influencer explaining crypto. Let certainty be the space where creativity actually breathes. Next, over identifying with chaos. Yes, there is something called over identifying with chaos. Let me share with you how it goes, right? Once one is sneaky because it's look like caring and caring deeply. You start by trying to help and end up trying to hold everything. 1 minute you're managing fires, next minute, congratulations, you are the fire. You don't just lead through stress, you become your team's shared Google Doc of panic. And now you're wondering why your calm feels like a buffering wheel. Every time you take on someone's emotional chaos as your own, you are basically like, hey everyone, dump your negative energy into my Dropbox. I have unlimited storage. Except you don't. Leadership is not about absorbing, it is about alchemizing. Taking that chaos, holding long enough to find coherence, and sending it back as calm direction. So, next time you feel your blood pressure sinking with your team's group anxiety, ask yourself, am I leading the storm or am I auditioning to be part of it? You can't lead what you are lost inside of. That is the difference between empathy and entanglement. I'll say it again. That is the difference between empathy and entanglement. In one, you appreciate and try to work towards coherence and solution. In other, you get entangled and become the problem. Now, buckle up because this one lives rent free in every leader's brain. I don't care how much experience you have, I don't care how much training you get. And I call it the FUD zone: fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Here it goes. Fear says you are not doing enough. Uncertainty chimes in, they are all watching you. And doubt seals the deal. Maybe this is not your thing. Your inner monologue becomes a group chat of insecurity. And guess what? Nobody is muting those notifications. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt are not villains. They are uninvited consultants in your mental meeting room. You just need to learn who gets a seat at the table and who does not get a mic. And here's the truth: confident leaders does not mean zero fear. It means fear gets to ride shotgun. It just does not get to drive. So when FUD shows up, treat it like a pop-up ad. Thank you for your feedback, but I will be upgrading to courage now. The job is not to banish fear, it is to stay grounded enough that fear loses its power to steer choice. Try a quick grounding reset right here, just you and me. Just take a deep breath through your nose, hold it, and now exhale like you're releasing every should you picked up this week. Again, breathe in clarity, exhale in certainty, and now you ask yourself quietly, where is my life? Am I trying to hold things that don't belong to me? It might be a project, a team drama, a deadline dressed up as a destiny. Let it go. Because you losing your grounding does not make the world more stable. It just doubles the chaos count. The strongest leaders are not the one who never shake. They are the one who learn quickly to recenter midway. That is the practice. You fall, you breathe, you find your center, you hold the line again. Leadership is not a posture, it is a pulse. Check your connection. All right, time to shift gears. We have named the chaos, and now let's get tactical. When leadership gets messy, when inbox turns into a panic parade of every calendar invitee feels like a trapdoor, one word can save your sanity. Stay. It is not a corporate acronym, it is human survival code, a four-letter leadership reset that works whether you are leading a boardroom or just leading and not trying to yell at Wi-Fi router. Because staying grounded is not about finding peace in the spa version of life. It's about staying still in the storm version. So what does that stand for, right? Stay. S is for step back. Take one literal step or a mental one out of the chaos. The half second of distance. That is your control panel. Because in leadership, reaction is gravity. It pulls you fast and hard. But reflection, that is the pause that changes the game. When everything is spiraling and you feel your cortisol writing angry tweets in your bloodstream, ask yourself, do I need to react right now? Or can I respond better in 5 minutes? That single mental step back can save you hours of cleaning up emotional messes you didn't mean to spill. The best leaders don't jump into fires. They step just far enough back to see the way out. Next, of stay is T. T is to take a breath. Now wait, before you roll your eyes, like, okay, the guy's gonna tell me meditate during crisis. No, hear me out. Your body is your leadership toolkit. It is just one most of us don't read the manual for. I'm serious. It is just one. We just don't read that manual. You don't tell a Formula One driver, just ignore the dashboard lights, right? So why do we ignore our own? Breathe is through the nose. Just breathe in through the nose. Hold for a beat of your heart and exhale longer than you inhale. That is not self care, that is self regulation. It's your biology reminding your mind we are safe, proceed wisely. Inhale calm, exhale ego. Take breath, and that breath buys you back clarity in storm that is being rented and renting space in your head. So next up, A. A is for acknowledge what's real. Say out loud one fact, one feeling. For example, um, the deadline is tight and I feel pressure. That's honesty, not weakness. It is a difference between I'm drowning and I see the wave. Naming it give you shape. It turns fog into form. And let me tell you, denial is expensive rent to pay in your own head. We have all sent that text that says it's fine. And we meant I'm spiraling but can't afford therapy right now, right? So acknowledging reality does not sink it. It lets you find the surface again. And then why? Yield to perspective. Ask yourself one question. What would the calmest version of me do now? Because guess what? That person exists right there in the chaos. They are not some monk in a cave. They are just you, minus panic, minus management mode. See, yielding does not mean giving up control. It means giving up illusion. When you loosen your grip, clarity returns. Sometimes the power move is not acceleration, it is alignment. So before you fire that Slack message that starts with, "Oh, my last email, stop, breathe," no, that micro pause might save your team's trust and your weekend. That's the stay practice. Step back, take a breath, acknowledge what's real, and yield to perspective. Now, this is not escapism, this is equilibrium. Grounded leaders don't run from storm, they hold still long enough to remember they are the calm. When everything shakes, just stay. And here is the thing nobody tells you: leadership energy spreads faster than trending need. If you come into meeting frazzled, breathing like you just ran from a bear, congratulations, your whole team is now enrolled in the fight or flight masterclass. But if you walk in grounded, not pretending, not performative positivity, just steady, that frequency catches faster than caffeine because teams and human mirror their leader's nervous system. If you sprint, they scramble. If you center, they sink. This is not a philosophy, this is neuroscience. Humans co regulate their emotional Wi Fi. You or the leader set the signal. So ask yourself, what signal are you broadcasting right now? Calm clarity or corporate chaos FM? Okay, let's make this tactical for a second. Try these three micro grounding experiments this week. They will make your meetings feel less like survival mode and more like shared momentum. And then DM me, stay, practice. Start with one collective breath. Before diving into updates, say, team, before we get tactical, just one breath together. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Do a box breathing, 4 counts. You just lowered everyone's cortisol level faster than any HR mindfulness webinar ever could. Second, ask the real check in. Skip the how is everybody doing. Seriously, and try this. What kind of week are you having on a scale of 1 to I'm Googling remote cabins for early retirement? You will get laugh, but you will get honesty. And under that honesty is connection. And then the third one, re-anchor in that mission because chaos disrupts memory and mission restores. Every meeting remind your people what game you're playing and why it matters. If your team cannot feel the mission, they will default to managing the noise. And if somebody rolls their eyes at the breathing thing, congratulations, you have found that one human most in need of oxygen and therapy. Here's your hard truth. If your calendar owns you more than your vision does, you're not leading. You're just professionally panicking with emails. Presence is not a soft skill, it's a performance fuel. We think leadership is about more meetings, more matrix, more motion, more this, more that. No. The most powerful thing you can do for your team is to slow the room down until everyone remembers why they showed up. Because calm does not mean complacent, it means clarity. Clear. And clarity wins more battles than anxiety ever will. When leaders stay grounded, teams start trusting. When leaders trust, teams start creating. And when everyone can breathe again, that's when innovation actually walks back into the room. We can test this right now, your mini reset. Take a slow inhale through your nose. Let's do it. Hold it and exhale through your mouth longer than you inhale. See, 90 seconds. Before every meeting, pause for 90 seconds of still leadership. You can call it mindfulness, you can call it pre-game. I call it bandwidth management for the soul. Ask yourself before you walk in that room, do I want to lead with presence or panic? Because the truth is, teams don't need perfect leaders. They need present leaders, people who steady when everything else shakes. So this week, breathe, anchor, lead like your calm is superpower everyone catches. Because it is. And that is why we know leadership in uncertain time is not about control, it is about capacity. How much can your heart, your mind, your nervous system realistically hold without breathing? Because let's be real, we are on slack ping away from losing composure and accidentally ping. For my last email, when we mean I may never emotionally recover for this meeting, right? But I tell you this, calm is not something you accidentally stumble on. It is a skill you build neurologically. And that is what this episode really been about. Training your brain to stay in leadership mode. The prefrontal cortex, instead of letting your fight or flight system run Monday. That's where our stay practice comes alive. Because this isn't just mindfulness fluff, this is hard neuroscience with a sense of humor, right? And if you start thinking about all my episodes, we have been talking about the same thing, right? What is mindfulness? It's not like you have to go and turn twist your body in 500 different ways, or you have to take that whole weekend on Himalayas. No, it's all about becoming present in the moment. How? Take deep breath, one deep breath, become present. The moment you become present with that deep breath, you become the observer. The moment you become the observer, you detach your emotions on the side and start thinking logically as a leader, right? I'll walk you one more time through stay, right? S, step back. When you physically or mentally take a step back from a situation, here is what you're really doing. You are creating distance from your amygdala. That's the little almond shaped drama queen in your brain screaming, we are all going to die. Every time a calendar invite looks crazy, right? Stepping back activates your prefrontal cortex, the logic center or the CEO of the brain. That's the part that says, we are fine, let's make a plan. It's not avoidance, it's neurological crowd control. Then T, take a breath. Now, the breath, I know everyone like, oh, sure, because breathing don't fit my 70 to 100 emails, right? No, a slow exhale activates vagus nerve, your body's internal brake pattern. That one long breath tells your parasympathetic system we are safe, which signals your prefrontal cortex to come back online. Acknowledging, A, what's real? Here's what's happening. When you label a fact, a feeling, the project is late. I feel frustrated. Whatever. You move your emotions from limbic system to prefrontal cortex. That's emotional literacy backed by MRI scans. It's like hitting the save a PDF for your emotions. It keeps them from re-editing your day and then yield. That's a power move, right? When you ask what would the calmest version of me do next, you open neural pathways between prefrontal cortex and anterior cingulate cortex, the part of your brain responsible for empathy and problem solving. The micro question redirects mental bandwidth from reaction to reasoning, from ego to evolution. So calm is literally contagious. Your grounded nervous system tells your team's nervous system it's safe to perform, not to panic, right? And if this lands with you, if you felt this is your nervous system, DM me the words grounded leader on LinkedIn. I'll send you the grounding playbook because bandwidth is not built, it's trained. Until next time, breathe it deeper. Breathe deeper than your problems. Your calm is not just personal, it's a leadership infrastructure. And you got this. And remember, check your connection. Head to the episode description and take Purpose Track assessment. It's free, no strings attached, and it could be breakthrough you did not know you needed. Remember, resilience is not being unbreakable. It's about being adaptable. And when you understand what truly drives you, you don't just adapt, you thrive. This is your host Singh, and you are listening to Mindful Leadership on Transformation Network. Go out there, lead loud, lead proud, and always lead with resilience. You got this, and I've got your back every step of the way. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you for watching Mindful Leadership Transforming Lives. With me, your host, Singh. We are honored to have you join us on this journey to explore the transformative power of mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and authentic leadership. Tune in every week on transformationtalkradio.com at noon Pacific on Tuesdays, where we will continue to explore how mindful leadership can create a ripple effect of positive changes in your life and lives of those you influence. This show is dedicated to helping you lead with purpose, presence, and passion. Whether you're navigating the complexities of business, building strong connection with your team, or striving to make a meaningful impact in the world around you. To learn more about the show, access additional resources, or dive deeper, visit singpowerupcoach.com. Remember, leadership isn't just about what you do, it's about who you are. Let's continue to transform lives together, one mindful moment at a time. See you next week.